What's up, Screen Fiend fans? Let's talk about it. Star Wars, Legacy of the Jedi. Yes, this was the concept art to Legacy of the Jedi. They were going to do a continuational story, and they still are trying to shop this throughout the entire universe. They want people to see this Legacy of a Jedi. Like, they are really strong behind this film. They want people to get into the idea of what this is all about. Now, you might want to know what the script is based upon. The script is based on the continuation of the rise of Skywalker. This was supposed to be the Rey series. And now Skywalker is done. Okay, there's no more Skywalker. That's even wiped out. Like, the Skywalkers are not even mentioned in this new trilogy. Now, the Legacy of the Jedi, Yoda makes an appearance and has more of an imprint where there's no more Mark Hamill, his voice over nothing. You hear Yoda pretty much taking over from where what should be Luke appearing to Rey. Because that's the one she had the connection with, not Master Yoda. But Master Yoda's voice gives her advice and things to do as she struggles to train Finn in the ways of the Jedi. Finn comes and finds Rey, and they start training. As she's training Finn is more freestyle and free-spirited with his training, where it's more instinctive. And she's trying to get him to go by the book. Exactly follow the book by the letter. Where she's going to have to learn to let Finn trust his instincts to be a better Jedi. So they're going to butt heads a lot in this series as she's training Finn. Finn is what she's calling him a Padawan learner. And he thinks, am I a Jedi yet? Once he does something, every time he accomplishes a feat, he wants to know, is he's a Jedi yet? So am I a Jedi yet? Like where's it? Where in the book am I finished? Where I'm now a Jedi? It's been years. They don't really give a date on how many years it's been, but it's been years. And Rey has been training Finn for years, and it's just not clicking right. Meanwhile, on the other side of the Palencia, what you saw in Rise of the Skywalker was the whole container full of Snokes were moved out and gone. There's a Snoke that has been moved to Mustafar, where Darth Vader used to reign. Now, the name Darth Vader was mentioned with no mention of Skywalker. Now, Darth Vader is its own entity and is trying to be reborn, as they have a Banta tank. That's later in the script, where they're trying to remake Darth Vader, or a body for him to consume. That was ideal to Anakin Skywalker. But it's not Anakin Skywalker. It is actually just a cloned body that is a vessel for him to consume, as new Snoke has taken over and basically has the Emperor's what was left of his consciousness was transferred to that body. When Rey destroyed him, he had those other Snokes moved out throughout the galaxy, where he can just teleport himself there once his body is destroyed. So now Palpatine is now back to being Snoke. So Snoke's returned, and he's basically doing the same things again. But now Mustafar is where he is because that's where he's very strong with the Force and his powers. And Rey has to put together what she has to go and stop Snoke once again. So now this is about Snoke versus Rey, and then Finn is there as Snoke is trying to convert her to the dark side once again, as when she gets there, the strength of the dark side is starting to play tricks on her mind. So, Snoke saying there's no way that Rey, even as a Jedi who has Palpatine's DNA, would have to tap into her dark side in order to beat him. Now, there's new creatures in there. Instead of BB-8, there's a new, like this, like light box looking thing that you see there on the screen. It's a lot of new characters. Poe Dameron's not in this series, as Poe is on another mission doing whatever. Chewbacca is in this mission, as Chewie is back in Star Wars, and he was going to be with Rey as the sidekick. And Chewie actually dies in the second episode, not the first Legacy of the Jedi, but the second one, second film. He sacrifices himself to save Rey. The Millennium Falcon is destroyed in the third act, which is the third film of this trilogy that they had. The Millennium Falcon is destroyed. Snoke crushes it with the Force. He becomes irate and destroyed, what they say eviscerates the Millennium Falcon, and it slowly as it tries to pull away, as Snoke has it in his grasp, and he crushes the Millennium Falcon till it crashes and falls into pieces. Finn and Rey are in the Millennium Falcon as Snoke keeps them on the planet to where they can't leave. But now the historical Millennium Falcon is destroyed. The spirit of the Jedi is very low, especially with Rey. And with Finn seeing how Rey is down, he's never seen Rey emotionally crushed, as she feel like she's let down Han Solo and Chewbacca, as this was a historic ship that she saw many a times and never knew it was on her home planet, and she walked past it constantly. So this ship found out, and it saved her life and started her journey, is now destroyed. So in the third film, Snoke is supposed to destroy the Millennium Falcon. He never wields a lightsaber, as he feels a lightsaber is for people who are not skilled in the Force. He totally believes in the Force. Every time they try to strike him and they fight Snoke, he uses the Force and throw them like took children. And then he uses the Force and grabs Finn and brings Finn towards him. And he talks to Finn. And he keeps saying, you would be a formidable servant. You've served us before, because he could see everything in his mind, and says, all of this that you've done, and she doesn't even realize that you love her. And Rey was like shocked to hear all this as he's saying this to Finn. It's like, does she know you love her and you have feelings for you? She'll never love you. She's a Jedi. They don't have love and compassion. They only pretend to. And so he throws Finn to the ground, but he doesn't kill him. He lets him stew on it. So, hold on one second. I'm like, I'm free tomorrow now. I'm single again. So, yeah. Things got very interesting fast because the dark side was starting to make more of an imprint there. And this is the final act. Rey's lightsaber. And at she jumps at Snoke. This is all the way into the end. Like the whole story is played out with other characters. Like there's new characters they're putting into this thing, but all of it is not laid out as one movie. This is like, you would think this is one film. This is 3 films. But the other ones don't have titles. And they don't have it broken down into one big script. No, this is very unusual for Star Wars. Star Wars normally have one script. Then the second script, they have a story, that a direction they want to go. And then they start rewriting. Like this would have 1,000 rewrites. And don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe if you're new. But this would have 1,000 rewrites. Well, they said she runs at Snoke with her lightsaber, and her anger and her focus is so sharp, Snoke can't grab her with the Force. She's tapped into her dark side. When she sees Finn basically pinned to the ground, she picks up her lightsaber and she charges Snoke. She remembers from The Last Jedi how Kylo Ren was able to distract, and he was not able to read the mind of Kylo Ren. She knew she could pull the same thing off on this Snoke. His inability to see her thoughts. He saw what she wanted him to see, was her passion, her fire. And she's tapped into the dark side, and he says, good, come strike me down. So as she leaps, lightsabers clash in the air as Finn gets up and says, don't slice him down. If you slice him down, you'll be just like him, Rey. Don't kill him. He wants you to. So Finn, he think is on his side. Finn turns around and wham! Slices off the head of Snoke with one swift stroke. He slices the head off of Snoke. And says, I'm not a Palpatine. Now I'm a Jedi. Or something like that. Like, I'm just a Jedi. Or whatever. Now he becomes a Jedi. So he wanted to be the one to kill Snoke. So that he could become a Jedi. So he doesn't have to go through training anymore. Now, this is about the third film. So, Rey, after this trilogy is over, she's exhausted as the new school of people, these new Jedis, these new young kids who were in the school that Kylo Ren had that was entrapping all these kids and kidnapping them and putting them into programs. Rey has started to teach them the ways of the Jedi. So now Finn is going to be a teacher. And Rey is going to be one starting schools in every sector of the galaxy, where she's going to train Jedi throughout the galaxy and travel around and find those who the Force sends into her presence. Then, at the very end, you see this other location way in Tatooine somewhere. On that planet of Tatooine, in the town, there's a familiar character that you haven't seen in a long time. And in a bantha tank is a Snoke. Like the last Snoke. Like that wasn't the last Snoke. It was like 2 in a container, I guess. And now, this last Snoke, his eyes open at the end, and the Star Wars movie goes off. And that's how the trilogy ended. So that lets me know, with them revealing this, that this is never coming out. It's never going to be filmed. But to me, I think they could have worked this angle and made it work. Especially the beginning part with her training Finn. They have already was drawing up the artwork for this Star Wars film. People were sketching up artwork with Rey for her trilogy, but The Rise of Skywalker disappointed tremendously. And I think they went away with this legacy of the Jedi. But you could use the concept for a video game or whatever you would like. I think it still works for that purpose of it. Anything else might not be. But for that purpose, I think it'll work. So y'all tell me what y'all think, Screen Fiend fans. Would this been a trilogy you've been interested in? The death of Chewie, the death of the Millennium Falcon. You know, it's something else. But I find it to be quite interesting. They said special guests. So if I'm guessing, right, Boba Fett and in Jabba the Hutt's lair is the Snoke. He has the Snoke in a tank in Jabba's palace. Someone's probably paid him money to hide him there. So that's the only thing that really makes sense. Everything else kind of doesn't make any sense. So that's the only thing on Tatooine that would make sense, if they would put a Snoke there. they never really discussed what was going to happen with this Darth Vader essence going inside this clone, which was Snoke's plan to come up with this clone for him to embody. They never go into the details of how they stopped this process from happening or what happened. So they probably was in rewrites of structuring it. Well, all of this stuff is all on the internet. You can find it. They they're leaking this stuff out because people probably say, "Well, damn, I'm pissed, and all my hard work is going down the drain." So here, F it, you can have it. Yeah, so that's all it is. Anyway, I'm out. Thanks for listening to me. Don't forget to subscribe to the page, hit the notification bell. I'm done.